if you guys remember, I ended the show a couple weeks ago saying that don't worry, our bankroll was fine. We did have a couple bad weeks there, but if you saw the numbers, I had just made a couple NBA bets. Those went well, and then I had an NFL lineup do well. We'll talk about that on the review because I do think there were some important parts to mention in that. But just overall, it speaks to you're going to go down and you're going to go up. And like even the market moves that we're going to see in the betting lines when we talk about these in just a few minutes, you're going to see things move and shift, and you got to be willing to make those bets and those guesses in real time. You know, when you bet something in real time, you also have to take the consequences, and like that's the important part about building a good bankroll is being ready for the storm, but also being able to celebrate the sunshine as well. So yeah, I'm happy for another week. Truly, I think a lot of people get caught up in that was a bad week. Last week was a bad week, and or this week's great because it has value. It's a different game, but we got to apply the same rules if that makes sense. So how are we doing, Gov? Donnie?
I am good. I'm ready for football. I'm glad it's not starting so early this week.
Oh, I am drained with the first week of NBA. I'll say that right now.
Yeah.
I've watched so much basketball. I'm just like, I want to rest tomorrow morning.
Like, this is a literal rough week for me. Like, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel because as much as I've been hearing hockey stuff from the people I talk to.
Yeah.
I've been doing my NBA content, and then you get the World Series and the walk-off grand slam last night.
I mean,
Freddie Freeman. Oh,
yeah, I walked Mookie to give up a grand slam. What the next pitch? Fastball.
If he wanted
down the middle.
Equal thing, like grand slam walk-off game 1. Watch game 3 have like a Juan Carlos Stanton grand slam walk-off. Because when I think of the Dodgers, I think of Mookie and I think of Ohtani. But Freddie Freeman's a beast of a player, too.
Well,
same thing with the Yankees. I would think of Soto and Judge. But Stanton was an MVP, hit 50 homers.
Yeah. I mean, you figure Shohei comes up to bat. Everyone's thinking it. Shohei first at bat, bottom of the 10th. You thought he was going to be the hero, and he pops out. It was a fun game. It was a fun listen. I was on the road listening to it.
I'll be honest, I'm glad I didn't listen to that shit. Baseball, I had no idea what happened, and I feel like I didn't miss anything. I'll bet it.
I mean, the Dodgers won game 1 at home. You didn't miss anything. The series hasn't even started yet.
Like, honestly, I would have bet my whole, if you said, oh, do you know what happened? There was a grand slam. I had no idea. I didn't know the score.
Walk-off grand slam.
Walk-off, yeah. It was great.
The sad thing is, I know the teams that are playing. I bet some of the players. I'm plugged into the sports culture, but baseball just doesn't.
But it's Yankees, Dodgers, and you're in Detroit. That's not your teams. It's not the Tigers up there. It's not even like a Cleveland or one of the other teams around. It's West Coast, East Coast. It's Yankees, Dodgers.
Baseball literally moves the needle 0% for me these days.
The Dodgers move.
You have a baseball needle? Really?
Yeah, I know it. It's in a haystack somewhere. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Honestly, the Dodgers just moved the needle for me. Even though I'm a Red Sox fan, they just have so much star power and so much fun names on there. I just love to tune in.
It's that Mookie bet. It's that Mookie bet.
It's Mookie plus Shohei. Shohei's just so fun.
He is fun. I know the players. I'm plugged into the culture. I can't do it. But what I can do is we can get onto these spread picks. We'll give you our number generator here in a few minutes, and then be able to have our order. But we do have a show pick. It is the Falcons at 2.5. I bet this personally on my account early this week because I thought it was going to move. I can't believe it stayed at 2.5. Maybe the Bucks are going to still be able to score, but I like what I've seen from an offensive perspective of the Falcons. So that was our show pick. Again, we're going to give you the headlines, and then we'll kind of do a recap of our whole selection at the end there, because then we'll have the whole portfolio to talk about. So why don't we get our spread or the numbers up there?
I'll go back to my lucky number that's been not so lucky this season, 81.
81.
69. There we go.
50.
Ooh. None of us took a look.
Oh, there it goes. 51. Good job, Logan. Yay.
Yeah.
Snake. Yeah.
He hit it
on
on the dot last time. He hit on one. Yeah. Great. Okay.
I love the snake, guys.
It's great. Yeah. Ass end of the snake, head of the snake on the lineup builder.
Donnie was the only guy to go to the UFL game. They do have the beer snake. So I actually think there's probably something to that snake reference.
I picked the middle number. I'm the middle guy.
No.
I'm the middle child. Everything works out my
way. Let me clarify for the chat. There is no hidden reference in I Love the Snake.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure that had all the reference necessary built into it. You're good.
I think there
There's
is.
nothing hidden. It's right there.
By the way, it does say like and subscribe, so you can comment in the comment section to tell us if you think Donnie had a reference there or not.
How much snake love does Donnie have? Let us know.
All right.
I mean, people pick on my hair, they make fun of your laugh. People have fun in our comments, Donnie. It's okay. Let the people live. Okay, so it's my pick, right?
That puts you first. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. There's so much I like here. And I gave you the best pick with the Falcons because that was our group pick. Give me the Cowboys at 4.5. I don't think the 49ers are. Well, I'm sorry, we're doing that later. My headline is Dallas gets it right. I almost got our own format, and I'm the producer, but I got it.
Yeah, it's your new format. We weren't really doing it last week.
It's true.
It's all good. Let's see. I don't hate that pick, to be honest.
If
that's
it was
not a bad one.
I don't like it because I don't know who's playing and who isn't yet. So
if it was 3, I wouldn't like it as much.
Let's see, what's a good Ooh.
I told you there's some big spreads up there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a couple of them I really like. All right. Oh, what did you say again, Logan? I forgot to write it down.
4.5 on the Cowboys, plus 4.5.
Yeah.
That 1.5 is the big difference. They go from a field goal to a touchdown.
Yeah, here's a crazy one for you, but there's just so much riding. Let me double check, make sure it's what I'm looking at. Yeah, there's just so much on that. Give me the Raiders plus 9.5.
Ooh, I didn't.
Interesting.
I thought you might go big game hunting, but not on that one.
Plus
Donnie, what you got?
9.5, you said?
Yes, plus 9.5.
All right.
Vegas has made it like their Super Bowl to play Kansas City and play them tough 2 times a year, every year. So if there's one game I think this Vegas team is going to show up for second half of the season, it's this one. I don't think they blow them out by 10 plus. Kansas City wins, but if Kansas City wins 21-14, 21-13, I'm right. I'm good. I don't see them. I don't see Kansas City. Here's the thing. I really like Kansas City this week when we get to the lineup builder. I really like Kansas City this week.
I do too.
Me too.
But it's very hard for me to see them actually putting up 30 points, even with Hopkins coming in. I still think they play slower. They control the game. They let Hunt run it. And so I think they win, but I don't think they blow out. So I'll take the points on the Raiders there. Not to mention, I'm looking at the money, and the money's saying a lot of big money bets are thinking the same as me.
Donnie, what are you thinking?
I am going to. I'm just checking injury reports for my second pick. I am going to start off my first pick. I think it's just I'm going to go with the much better team in Buffalo -3. I have been off of Seattle for so long. They've kind of stuck around and, kept me honest about them. They're better than I give them credit for, but I do think Buffalo's just better. And they're on the upswing. Buffalo's got a lot going on for them right now.
That's one of the favorites I was looking at as again, I look at the money. That's one of the ones where there's more money on the Bills than there are bets on the Bills, even with them being favored. Like usually you see that with like an underdog that people want to take a shot on. But like this is one where they're like, yeah, Buffalo should come out and just destroy Seattle, which Seattle started off really hot, still playing a very high pace, but without Metcalf, I'm not sure if they have the offense to actually keep up with Buffalo.
Yeah. You ready for my next one?
Well, it's mine. It's Snake.
Yeah, Donnie, number 2. You'll have the very last one, Logan.
I think my pick will still be here, but.
And same thing here. Another team where I just think I can't believe it's so low because I think they're so much better. The Packers, I expect to just dominate against the Jaguars. I'm not a big fan of what Jacksonville's doing. I think their coach is 1 foot out the door. I mean, but there's got to be a nail in the coffin eventually, right? Right? Maybe.
Potentially.
I hate you, Donnie. I hate you so much.
But Trevor Lawrence has played better the last 3 weeks. I do think that's saving Peterson's job.
So that's Green Bay minus 3.5 or minus
4.
Okay.
-4, yeah.
Man, fucking hate you, Donnie, right now. And not for the reason you think. I'm gonna have to try to find another game because I was gonna take that one. And I was going to take the opposite side. So I still can.
Go ahead.
I don't want to go head to head against.
Please.
I don't want to just have another one of those. But like everything I'm seeing,
you've never beat me once.
Like I can take the plus points on Jacksonville. I almost had you if it wasn't for that last field goal, but like that was so close in that Jets Buffalo game. You know right now it could have gone either fucking way in that game.
It doesn't matter. The score doesn't matter as long as I win.
I don't care if you got a spot. I don't got time to be the referee, though.
No, I know. Like, this is so tough because, like, again, everything I'm looking at tells me like Jacksonville covering 4 would actually be very solid. Like, I don't want to take that as my second and just have another head-to-head with Donnie. But there's not another great spot I want to attack. Like, I've kind of hit all the good spots I wanted to attack on. I'm just sort of like between us having the Falcons as our first bet.
Yeah, that's the best one on the board, I think. I would have taken that first.
There is one other one. But it's another one of these. It's another one of the favorites that's getting a lot of extra money on them. And I don't know if it's enough of an edge. Oh, fuck. You know what? I don't want to do the head-to-head right now. We'll save those for later in the year. Give me Dolphins -4.
That was my third. If one of mine got taken, that was my other one.
All right, so you didn't take mine.
Nope, I guess not. I'm still weary on whether or not, I'm still weary on whether or not I would take Jacksonville. I'm not going to take it, but if you are 1-1 this week, Donnie, we know why.
Mine is pretty simple. I want the best wide receiver in the game. I want a team that I actually think has some offense and not just defense, and a very underrated defense. And you're going to give me plus points. Give me the Giants over the Steelers.
I mean, I was wondering when you said best wide receiver in the game, I knew it could only be like
Wandell Robinson.
You're either taking Chase or I thought you were about to bet the Cincy.
No, not in the whole league. I'm saying the best wide receiver in that game. Let's be clear. I'm not calling Neighbors.
Well, again, Neighbors is still really good. Like, I would definitely put Neighbors ahead of Pickens. Like, I would have had the Giants. Like, if you're saying best wide receiver in the league on this slate, I would have gotten to the Giants like 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Because of how good Neighbors is.
He's in a range. He's in a tier, but I'm not ready to call him the best one. But he's definitely the best one in this game.
Double check what I'm seeing on that game. Oh, okay, a little.
Just to be
clear. There's really no difference in edge money-wise. So, like, yeah, if you think the Giants will keep it close and cover, and Steelers are a team, like, I don't expect a team with Russ to just go and blow another team out.
And I understand that, there's been some rumors that Drew Lock might start that game. I don't care if it's Drew Lock. I still think the Giants would cover 6.
Just to be clear, Gov, you had it at -4 for the Pins, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I had it as well. I just wanted to make sure you wrote it down right.
Nope, yep, I did. I got all of our picks right now. So.
All right. Well, that means one thing. Over to the lineup builder.
It means we got to get this like and subscribe off the screen. Hopefully you've already done it by now because it's time to get on to business. The question, though, is, am I going to have to log in again? That's going to
yeah, question of the hour.
It's going to become the running gag because sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But I understand
we'll see what Logan's got to do. While we do that, we're going to start with our value lineup, of course.
Yeah, it looks like we're good to go. They're going to save us a few minutes. I actually appreciate it. In all honesty, like, responsible gaming is important. We do have a little bit of fun with it, but responsible gaming is important. Let me make sure we get a 3 entry so it's easier to review. On Tuesday, here we go. All right, we're set. Right.
So we'll start with the value lineup.
There's a lot of value this week. A lot.
I agree. So there's a lot of value around at most. I think every position has a value guy.
Right.
At least one, if not multiple value guys that I think are viable. It's not like jamming in some of the guys we did last week. It's like this guy's viable and he's being talked about. There's actual players doing well, getting value.
I have a side note to make because this is the value lineup, and I know we're trying to find these cheap guys. Yeah. I would argue, no matter what, this week, considering this tight end week, the value is going to be double tight end as well.
It could be.
I think double tight end will work just because
I want the value to know, going in, the idea is we probably want to stick 2 tight ends in there because tight ends care about it.
It could be the case. Here's what I want to do with this line, because we're going to reconstruct it sideways and up and down. What I want to do is get the cheapest viable scorers in the lineup and then construct from there, because then that gives you an idea of what the price point is. So this is not the best value that we find that we think we should play. This is honestly the best value that you think are going to score points, and then we reverse engineer it from there.
Right.
Let's just be clear, because there might be some new viewers, so I just want to lay that out.
Okay.
But honestly, this is the week where you could build 2 of these, I think. And I mean, there's a lot of that.
You could, because so let's start out. Quarterback, the 2 values I see are Jameis Winston or Bo Nix against Carolina.
Okay.
But I prefer Jameis as our value.
You could say Bryce Young, and don't laugh because people play.
You could say Bryce Young. You're not going to, but you could say Bryce Young.
No, I'm not going to. I think Winston's just you pay up for Winston for a bit of the ceiling. But people did play Will Levis last week, so there's that. Yeah, but you agree, right, Donnie? We're not missing anyone.
Oh yeah, I agree.
When it comes to quarterback, let me double check. Just the sub 6K. That's real. When I think of quarterback value, I'm thinking of sub 6K.
Right, for quarterback, especially.
So Geno at 59, maybe. Rich at his cheapest point since his rookie starting.
It is.
Even then, I think he was 6K week 1 last year.
I will say last week, it was almost like they threw the injury concerns out the window and hey, dude, if you're going to get hurt, at least you're going to get hurt running the ball and doing what you're good at. They designed the most runs for him based on the play call. It wasn't just scrambles; they were actually designed runs.
The other value quarterbacks like T-Law in a high total game, not interested in. Bo Nix against Carolina, not really interested. Herbert against shitty New Orleans isn't that one actually does interest me. But I also know Harbaugh's not trying to have Herbert throw it 35.
True. I like
Herbert. And until he has a game like that, I don't know if I'll be able to play.
I do have a side note just quickly on that Chargers Arizona game, by the way. Bad news for viewership. It was one of the lowest primetime games ever recorded in the last 8 years.
That's because it was not very accessible.
It wasn't accessible at all. You couldn't go on any normal if you were trying to watch it on cable, you could not get that game.
I get that, guys.
Even in the West Coast market, you did not get that game. You had to not only use a streaming service, you had to use a streaming service that, sorry, ESPN, no one uses ESPN Plus. Because
unless you got the Disney bundle.
Everything you put on, even the people that have the Disney bundle, don't use ESPN Plus because everything you'd want to watch on ESPN Plus gets put on ESPN2.
And let me tell you, because we do have the family Hulu bundle, they actually removed it from the bundle to add HBO Max. So now you don't actually get that with the bundle unless you pay for it as a separate add-on. So,
yeah, but ESPN Plus is good for people watching like soccer across the state.
Yeah,
that's what it's good for. If you're trying to make ESPN Plus a streaming platform like it's Netflix or Amazon, no one knows how to get that. And as a matter of fact, ESPN, every time I've logged into ESPN Plus, even after paying for ESPN Plus,
it is terrible.
It makes me log in with a cable service provider or Sling or something that actually lets me watch ESPN and ESPN2. Otherwise, all I get from ESPN Plus is the crappy other. It's basically like all ESPN Plus is a streaming app for ESPN 8 The Ocho. That's what you get on ESPN Plus. So no one uses it, and it's not clearly accessible to something that should be out there. Like if they were going to do a doubleheader on Monday night and ESPN, both of them, guess what? You're not doing the Manning cast that night because you're doing one on ESPN and one on ESPN2. I didn't get to watch a single bit of that Arizona game. Not one bit. What I saw of it is what they showed me on ESPN. And then ESPN telling you we're going to go finish that game and then immediately just going into Scott Van Pelt and not playing any of the Arizona games.
Yeah, that's what happened.
While it's still playing. Sorry, ESPN, you fucked up royally, right, on that one. The reason it was the ratings were so low is because ESPN fucked up royally in distributing that game.
Well, we have some short content this week. I'm going to clip that. And by the way, God's second channel is in the description. So I did not know that rant was going to entice that much energy, but I'm glad it did. Now you're fired up. I was just mentioning, like, we saw playoff games on Peacock. We've seen Netflix do Christmas. And like,
Amazon has been doing it every Thursday for all last year. It's not like streaming services aren't able. People have access to the internet to a streaming service.
So the fact that
ESPN Plus is the worst of all of those.
Yeah,
ESPN.
that's all I was
pointing the worst of all of them.
It is. That's all I was pointing out. I'm glad you brought the fire, though. We had the extra time, so go ahead. I mean, it was good passion. I'll be honest. Talk about passion. You talk about NBA. I was so in the NBA streets. I mean, I had a big NBA win. It was exciting. I don't know that much running back value this week. I'm paying up in a lot of spots.
I'll admit,
I don't know
where I'm looking on my list, there's not a lot of running back value this week. Like
Donnie, you might
really good plays at running back are all in the 6K range, and then there's 3 solid studs in my mind.
Fair, because I don't know. Because Donnie, I know, looks at the slate late, so maybe he's actually done more like late analysis because he kind of does an overview later.
I have a cheap play that I like, and I have a sub 6K guy that should be played.
Okay.
So like we want to just plug those in and move off of there. With everything going on, there should be no reason not to rely on the run game a little bit in Tampa. So Rashad White sub 6K is a solid value. Not one I'm looking to like gravitate towards, but like you're getting a starting running back in an offense that's probably going to have to run it more than you think because of the ineptitude of the wide receivers. I think Rashad White works.
And Irving is questionable.
And then his one guy who can take away snaps. Now Tucker will probably end up taking snaps too, but like Rashad White is a guy who showed last year could get some work.
Both the Whites are still on my no play list. I
think we'll be moving off of White, I believe, but he is.
Don't worry, you can play Derek White in NBA and you'll feel fine.
I have a much better guy from that Tampa offense that makes a lot more sense and is a lot cheaper in Cade Otton. He had 10 targets last week.
Well, I think him and Jonnu are the value tight ends, but we'll get to that when we fill in the tight end. I agree. There's going to be honestly, this line is probably going to have a lot of Tampa because that's where a lot of value is coming.
You got to run
without Evans and Godwin. Like White should do more. All the receivers have to be out there for sub 4K. Otton's going to have to do more for sub 4K. But when it comes to like our second running back, the only other cheap guy I have on my list would be Jaleel from Denver. Yeah, and he's not a strong play, but he's a great play against Carolina.
Yeah, that's the cheapest back I like.
I know, and I usually don't like to go into the 6K range just for the thought experiment.
Not Javonte, Jaleel.
Oh,
I'm saying go with the backup.
So you
Carolina this year hasn't always given up that massive game 25 point to the starting guy.
Yeah.
But the backups have had 10, 11, 15, 20-point games against them.
It is fair.
And I've heard that Estime is in the doghouse after his fumble. So I could see it being a closer 60-40 split between Javonte and Jaleel like we had last year.
Yeah.
And a 40% split at running back against Carolina, sub 5K, is the only real value I see at running back.
McMillan,
otherwise, I think I'm sticking to the 6K range of running back anyway.
McMillan is definitely a wide receiver that is a value. And
I think one of him or Shepard is probably the right play. I think it's McMillan because they seem to be wanting to use him.
Yeah.
Shepard only got used in the one game that I feel like it was like they brought in Shepard when Palmer and McMillan were hurt, and he played a little bit. Or was it Mike Evans who was hurt in that game?
There's $100 difference, so we could make that change in the actual construction.
The other top value would be Cleveland. Yeah, there we go. Tillman, right? He was the guy who, like, they came out last week. He had 10 targets before Jerry Jeudy had 1. They were trying to give Tillman the ball. He came out as wide receiver 1.
He also caught 8. Like we saw, like last year at some point, I think Hopkins had like 6 or 7 targets and only caught like 1 pass. This is a time where Tillman got 12 targets and caught 8 of them. I think if you don't play Tillman, I have to know why. I mean, I do think you could not do it, but I think you're purposely not doing it. I feel like.
I saw Jameis throw to Jeudy the last drive of the game in the fourth quarter, and the fact that I might not trust. See, that's the thing. If I'm playing Cleveland, I'm probably just going to play Tillman, just because of the volume and everything there. The way I don't play Tillman would be to full fade Cleveland, because like I could see even doing like Jeudy Tillman as the double on a Winston stack. All right, I think Otten and Jonnu Smith are the 2 cheap tight ends. Otten's probably the one pulling ownership. Jonnu is the pivot at the same price point.
And by the way,
he's been getting extra usage, although him getting extra usage could be because they didn't have their quarterback, so they used the tight end more. But it's not like A-Chain and Tyreek haven't been there. It's just been easier for them to scheme tight end stuff. Or maybe it's McDaniels. Last year, he uses tight ends.
Yeah.
And he's finally got a good receiving one. I think Otten at $100 cheaper is probably the play we just stick in.
That's what we're trying to do.
When it comes to value tight ends, those are the only 2 I'm really thinking about.
Don, you have any thoughts on tight ends?
Just K. Otten was my big one. I mean,
I will say though, I was doing some research on the tight ends this week. They were saying that, of course, you're right, Gov. Jono did see a spike, with the backup quarterbacks and being closer to the line of scrimmage, and just like what you would expect.
But it's not even like they were like when I think about that, it's like, well, so did the tight end just become his safety blanket like they always talk about? It's like
it was designed plays.
Yeah, I was about to say no. It was designed motion plays with Jonnu.
But the receivers are going to get back and being involved.
True.
No, yeah, with Tua in there should be able to get those timing motion plays with Tyreek and A-Chain more too.
But what I'm saying is with Tua, Smith was still, I think, the third option on that team. Like he's leading the league.
Yeah, it was actually really weird that Jonnu was like third in front of Waddle. It was Tyreek, A-Chain, Jonnu, Waddle. And that's a little weird. Waddle is definitely going to be your leverage play because people are going to love Miami this week in all ways, but they're going to forget about Waddle.
The best defense on the slate is...
I have Chicago as my cheap defense.
Honestly,
the Bears at 2,700 against...
I don't have a cheap defense this week.
A
lot of my defenses are 3K or higher. Like Houston at 31 is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
But Broncos 37, Jets at 35, both of those look really good.
I definitely think you could go Broncos.
Chargers at 33. A lot of those look really good.
I will have one Broncos. I'm not going to full Broncos the whole weekend. I think that's silly.
No, I think that's
have
silly.
One.
I mean,
if they do go up, I do want to partner.
If you want to just plug in cheap, I think you just go Bears, and then we'll see where we move up from.
The Bears
hope that Mariota starts.
Although Mariota looked pretty good, but the Bears
did do solid. I think
and now Washington offense is going to run like an efficient kind of game, but I also don't trust Mariota to just be Jaden McDaniels.
Jaden
Daniels. I keep putting McDaniels.
Is there any other wide receivers that are really cheap? I mean, we could just put in Shepard just for the sake of this one.
I mean, we have so much money at this point. Like, I don't care about salary as much as.
I mean, right. Hopkins would probably be the one.
Honestly, let's just like Hopkins would be the value cheap guy, but like Tyreek should be $8K with Tua. He's under-owned. He's 100%. Underpriced. I would just plug in Tua.
Even
I wouldn't even put in Hopkins. I would just plug in Tua.
Well, I mean, like that's if we start. I'm just wondering if there's any other value guys I'm missing. Like, is there anyone?
No, not really.
I like to get the values on the screen so that if people want to look at like who we think our best values are, here they are, and then they can start to build as well.
Like if you wanted to go 2 tight end here now as to show value, I would put in probably Evan Ingram is getting slept on.
I would say
Green Bay's defense has been okay, but not great to tight ends.
I would say Sanders.
Bowers is going to be chalky, but he's also the most expensive. And Njoku's going to be chalky, but he's also the most expensive.
See, Sanders to me at 3,100 is still too cheap.
That would have been like a tight end value, like in the flex. Yeah. Like I just don't. I know we want to do the exercise to put the.
But that's just the exercise.
But this is not viable. Like in my
no.
It literally, in my thought, we could leave the 7,000 on the table, and it's still a viable lineup I would play.
Yeah.
This is not.
Fair.
All right. You would have to switch Sanders and Hopkins to 2 like actual. And again, value does not mean cheap. Value just means they are underpriced.
I actually have
Tyreek is so underpriced.
Oh yeah.
He should just be in here in the value.
Well, let's just move on to that then, because I do agree. Tyreek goes into this lineup, right?
So Tyreek for Hopkins, I would say, because if
like at this point you have to with what he put up there, the first guy you have to get rid of is Sanders.
Well, yeah, no, but I want a different guy in the flex. Is my point.
That's fine, but I want to make sure we put Hill in receiver spot since he plays in the.
That's how.
Huh? I thought I did that right.
No, you picked the wrong.
It was the one Hill that was expensive.
He plays at 1 o'clock, so I want to make sure I get that right.
So, I mean, really, at the flex, I want Bowers probably. That's where I'd be looking.
Bowers makes sense. He's priced up, but he.
See, and I'm not immediately trying to jam 2 tight ends. So no, Bowers is not like the first guy I'm switching. Like again, let's do this the way
I want to move up other players.
Well, I know. Well, let's do this the way we've been doing it. So just plug Hopkins back in there. In the flex.
In the flex?
Yeah.
Well, the next I'd want to get rid of it.
So now let's look. Let's vote. Who's the first guy we change in this line?
Both running backs.
Yeah, both of them. Immediately.
I'd actually be more willing to get off of like our stack more than Rachaad White and Jaleel. I would rather see if we want to do someone other than Jameis and Tillman.
No, that's not my first. That's not.
Or at least just Jameis. Like I want to get the stack right. We have all the value. Now let's see what the stack we can get and then upgrade. That would be my.
No, we gotta get.
I don't hate either of those running backs. They're not
I do.
I would much rather get off the cheap wide receivers than either of those 2 cheap running backs.
Sorry, man, you've been voted. I don't care about these guys. I don't want.
I hate those running back plays. I don't care if they score 30. I'll never play it.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
I would go up to Williams for Denver.
I like Williams.
See, and I think everyone's going to be on Williams because of the matchup and the fact that he just had a 20. Like, he literally just had his ceiling game of his career last week.
I know it.
I just don't see it happening again.
His workload's been going up and up and up.
Not really. Everyone says that. He's still only getting 65% of the running back snaps. He still hasn't broken 18 touches in a game. Like, you say his workload's going, and yet the numbers say he's doing exactly what he's been doing.
To be fair, he did get the 2 touchdowns. It makes the numbers like.
I was about to say, if you take the 2 touchdowns out, he has like 12 points last week.
Yeah,
like he's nothing special. So like, I'm not treating him as anything special.
But I like him a lot better than White.
Honestly, like,
if we wanted to, this is the cheapest back I'm willing to go this week.
We're not worried about cheap at this point.
We're not
now we built a lineup.
Right, I know, but that's the point.
Jam in Barkley and Brees.
Well,
if you really want two high-end running backs that aren't going to fail,
I would go
Henry.
Henry.
I would go Henry to make sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, Cleveland defense is not that bad. It's just getting run off the field because they're offense.
Fair enough, but okay. So
I'm not willing to jam Henry into that Cleveland defense.
Even if we took out the Winston and Tillman, like I think they're good values, and we probably should consider not doing it. But
if we're gonna do running back, like right now, I have Barkley, Brees, and Mixon as my top 3 studs.
I do.
I have a whole bunch of dudes in the 6K range I like.
Okay, I do agree on Brees. What do you think about Brees Hall, Donnie?
I'm not a big fan of Brees. The guy who killed the Patriots defense last time was Allen. Like I wouldn't play Allen. I just
Allen, Lazard?
No, the other running back.
Braylon Allen hasn't killed anyone.
Braylon
Allen.
No, but he's the guy.
Braylon Allen's fourth quarter runs all should just be thought of as Brees.
He's got.
Like if you're saying Allen was the guy who killed him, then Brees is the guy who's going to kill him this week.
With the new coach with the Jets, Allen has gotten like 5.
He's basically been phased out the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So like you're talking about a workhorse back against one of the worst rush defenses in the league. Like if Carolina wasn't there, New England would be a top defense running backs against.
I'm not forcing you to do it, but
I said Mixon, I said Barkley. Like if we wanted to pay up running back, those would be my guys. Mixon probably my favorite against Indy.
What do you think about Mixon, Donnie?
I mean Mixon makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
I don't see anyone taking touches from him at all. He's having a great year.
No, again, it's kind of like Brees. Like I don't see anyone taking touches.
Wait, he's only 7K. Oh wow. On FanDuel, he's like the second. He's like right behind Henry and Barkley.
Yeah, no, he's a guy who's with what he's been putting up and can put up, he should probably be an 8K running back.
Like honestly, there's a $2,000 difference between him on DraftKings and FanDuel. That's usually a good indicator.
And I'd rather play Mixon than like a Ken Walker. Like Ken Walker's the expensive running back I'm fading this week.
Yeah, Ken Walker, I get it because if Metcalf doesn't play, someone's gonna be getting more work. It probably just goes to Walker.
Okay, if I told you that Allen wasn't going to play at all, Donnie, would you like Brees Hall? Or are you just off of it?
I mean, I just don't know how much the Jets are going to be pushed by New England, and if it's the fourth quarter,
I get it.
They're just going to use the bruiser, I'd imagine. I actually might play Brees Hall now that you bring up. I didn't realize the snap count was so different.
It's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a drastic change the last couple of weeks. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to plug him in for now, just because I do think it.
I'm not against.
If you guys want, like I said, if you guys want to get rid of both of those cheap running backs, let's just jam in the money there, and we still have money to jam.
I'm actually glad you showed me that, Gov, because I'm going to play some Mixon now, because I've been building so much on FanDuel. I just assumed his price was similar. It's not, and that's a misprice to me.
Yeah. Okay. Now can we get off?
Winston? I should mention Devon A-Chain is like 6K. He's also the cheap.
I was about to say like Connor, Kareem Hunt, A-Chain, Chubb, Javonte. Those are like the 6K guys I'm really looking at. But like again, there's a lot of solid running back plays in that 6K range. So like I might stay in there and not be at this 7K range as much.
I think
I could see going down from one of them to one of those 6K guys if we needed more value. But we still have like almost 5K to switch our stack.
I do think we have to get off of McMillan or Otten. I think they're both good plays, but I don't think we want to play.
Yeah, I would say we need to choose a Tampa Bay guy and then get rid of the other one. If we're not going to do that, then we need to stack Baker.
Yeah.
Like if we're not going to do that, then we need to go full in, put Baker in there, and then get an Atlanta bring back. Because if Baker's pushing with these guys, Atlanta's scoring too.
I'm thinking it's McMillan. I like Otten. He's getting the targets. Baker seems to be going to his tight end more this year, and I imagine
that's the thing. He hasn't though. Like I can bring up the stats. Like Otten's averaging like 7 or 8 like looks a game.
He did. And
last week when all the receivers went out, he got 10. So like I could see him getting another 8-10 target game because there's no Mike Evans, no Godwin.
But to Donnie's point,
this offense has also been running through the wide receivers.
But
like I feel like it's more likely someone like Shepard or Palmer or McMillan takes on a Godwin role and gets 10, 12 targets, then Otten takes on the Godwin role and gets 10.
It could be. We don't know. But
we had a lot more. We had a lot more 4-target games for Otten last year than we had anything else.
And this year he has been getting like 8, 9 targets a couple of times. So like, I would say like Otten is also cheaper. The tight end position out. Like
now,
I'm with you. I would get off McMillan before Otten, but I'm not against like keeping in McMillan and going to Baker. That's a crazy one. If you think it's just like the last time these two teams played, but with all the value, this game doesn't have to do much. Like really, if you think Baker could get to 18 to 20 points with these receivers, then you could get a lot of value game stacking Tampa.
I have an idea for you guys. I had heard that why is the name escaping me now? Higgins tweaked his hamstring in practice yesterday and is highly questionable and leaning towards doubtful. We could find the money and just give it to Chase.
Oh shit! I didn't see that with T. Higgins. Oh shit! You're right.
They have to win.
I'm not exactly looking to find that money right now. I need to get up off Winston, not go to the star of Chase.
Fair enough.
Okay, hold on. Wait, I think we've gotten a little out of like off the rails. Weren't we about to switch the stack from Winston and Tillman?
That's what Donnie's saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying before we did that.
McMillan back in there, and then we'll switch the stack. We'd rather switch the stack than get off the value Tampa guys. We will probably need to get off one of the Tampa guys, but I'd rather make sure our stack is right before we do that.
Fair enough. We can do that.
So I don't care if he's in the flex. It's fine. We know we're going to switch one of those two down to the bottom. Okay,
so take Winston out first of all.
So let's take Winston out.
I figured we were going to do that. I just want to mention if you wanted to keep this stack, you could get up to Chase and just go down from the defense and keep it the way it was. Did you want to keep Tillman or do you want to get off that completely?
You can keep Tillman. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, we can keep him in because we might be switching McMillan up to the receiver stack. Okay, so stacking wise, like Green Bay has a high total. Philly Cincy has a high total.
I'm not mad at Tua.
I'm not happy about Tua, but I could see doing Tua. I think honestly, what I'd rather
what is
do.
Tua's price at?
He's like 62. Yeah, he's not exactly expensive right now.
Well, I'm guessing like I can't just look.
See, and
it's 61.
To be fair, I kind of would rather go Kyler and one of his guys with Tyreek as our bring back. Personally.
That makes sense.
Like Miami has that number one defense against quarterbacks because quarterbacks haven't had to do anything against Miami all year.
Yeah, it's true. I was thinking maybe Richardson because we had Mixon, but I don't want to. I don't want to trust Richardson as pass catchers.
See, like personally, in this like the range you have on screen, I like Caleb Williams against Washington.
I like Caleb Williams too.
I'm not mad at that.
I wouldn't mind going up to Caleb, and then
could do Caleb and Moore, right?
I was about to say now we get off of like McMillan and go to DJ Moore.
It's almost perfect, I think. Actually, we got 1,000.
All right, so we can still move up somewhere else. Yeah.
I think. Hold on, let me try to find him. I know he's down. 66. Yeah,
66.
We got 1,000.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's a little mini. And basically, with this stack we have, even if we leave the defense, we're just saying Chicago blows out Washington. Whether that's rookie quarterback versus rookie quarterback, whether that's a backup quarterback against Chicago who's coming on.
I should mention really quickly, we played Cooper in a lineup that worked because of the touchdown. And, you said, well, it's a new player coming to a new team. Snap count might be low. He was like 54, 5,600. Hopkins is lower than that. And I think Hopkins is more talented than Cooper is. So I think this is I'm playing a lot of Hopkins this week.
I like Hopkins. I think he's going to get steamed. We don't have quite enough money, but So here would be my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go down from Brees. I'd rather play Kareem Hunt in that Kansas City game more than Hopkins if I'm going to one-off.
I could definitely see that.
So I would say go down from Brees to Hunt, and then we'll use that money we'll have, like $2K, to get up off of Hopkins.
See, I like Hopkins more than Hunt.
Well, we'll see how much money we...
Hopkins is probably going to be way too high owned, and you're going to end up probably being better off playing someone different.
Hunt's going to be owned.
Hunt's going to be owned too. Like, I don't think you're getting off a lot of ownership going to Hunt. If anything,
no.
But, like, I also think Hopkins is in this weird scenario. Like, I don't see him as the same player as a Juju or as a Rashee Rice. So I don't think he comes in and takes over the target monster stuff from them. Like, I think if you want the dude on Kansas City who's getting 10 targets, you need to play Kelsey.
I'm okay with that. I just think Hopkins is a better play. But not enough where I'm like willing to die in the hill, and I like Terry McLaurin.
McLaurin as a bring back wouldn't be bad. I kind of like MHJ as a mini on the other side.
I like both of those guys.
I love Jaden Reed this week against Jacksonville. Like, top 3 guys I'm seeing that I would want to put in.
Yeah, I don't mind most of these guys. What do you think, Donnie? I don't even mind Flowers, to be honest.
Yeah, or Zay Flowers, like even that in that Baltimore-Cleveland game. Like, especially if we're going to still play Tillman and think he's going to get there.
Yeah.
Betting on, like, all of these are good spot for what we built. This high 6K range looks really good for us.
Well,
like, I can understand everything except Garrett Wilson. But even that could be like, well, we're not playing Brees, so we could play Garrett Wilson.
I would personally go with Jaden Reed.
I was about to say my choices would be Reed, Flowers, Harrison, then
if you knew it was Daniels, would McLaurin like spike? Just curious, because people will.
No, because Daniels hasn't been like bringing a wide receiver along. He's just been so efficient in hitting like 8 guys a game.
Yeah.
But like, I think Jaden Reed, yeah.
I was just thinking maybe
that leaves us $200.
We could get off of. I think we could get off of Moore and then pay up for Kmet at tight end. I think that would work.
No, because I'd rather have Moore. Washington's been giving up a lot of points to number 1 wide receivers. So like, unless you think Keenan Allen's the number 1, I would rather just play DJ Moore with Caleb Williams.
Fair enough. Now, if we're
I actually don't hate this at all.
No, it's a good lineup. But if we're going to actually build a second one, we better get going. I know you have a kind of a hard out here.
We're good. I've got like 15 minutes, so I'm good.
Okay.
3:10 is when I got to be.
I do like that lineup. Donnie, you were quiet probably most of that lineup. What do you think about it?
There's just a couple things. Like, I have not done enough research this week. I had a long night out, so I'm kind of just also soaking in information with the viewers.
Well, let's be honest, because we mentioned it a few times. I'll be honest. Sometimes that's better for me. Sometimes I find that when I take in information later, I digest it differently. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, I was soaking in information that one.
Yeah. Well, we play a weekly game. I do think sometimes you have to change up your weekly strategy. But go ahead. We can start this.
All right, let's do our draft lineup. So order is
it's reversed.
Donnie, me, Logan. Right.
Yep.
All right, Donnie, what's your favorite play of the week that we want to get in here? I'm going to try to jam in 2 of my plays. So, like.
Yeah, my favorite play, I'm just going to. It might not be my favorite, but it's somebody we haven't hit on at all. I want to play Bijan this week.
Robinson?
Yeah.
Against Tampa. Like, if I were going to play running back against Tampa this week, it would be Bijan. But I'm not, like, again, of the 7K running backs, he's not high on my list.
We talked about Brees Hall, though. He's another candidate, just like Brees. Wasn't getting a lot of sports, but now it's just starting to get a ton of work.
Algier hasn't gone back in his work. They've just been more willing to use.
They've been just more willing to run the ball. Like, yeah. All
right. So now my pick.
Yes.
All right. AJ Brown.
Okay.
So weird stat thrown out in the Discords. AJ Brown has gone for 30-plus fantasy points every week 8 for 4 straight years.
What?
And that includes games
so
where he was
stupid.
where he was on Tennessee, getting thrown to by Ryan Tannehill. Talking 4 straight years of a 30-point game in week 8.
I will say,
man loves Halloween.
That's such a stupid narrative.
It's the craziest narrative of all time. It's also fucking grown-ass man AJ Brown.
I love bad narratives. I really do.
That's a bad narrative. Now, here's all the good stuff. It's grown-ass man AJ Brown, who's the number 1 receiver on Philly.
Yeah.
Who's going to get a lot of work. Cincinnati's been garbage to run to wide receivers this year. This could be a shootout game. I think AJ's just a solid.
I will say this. I think at this point, and I think in the best ball season when we were doing that, people thought I probably hated AJ Brown if you went back and watched those. I'll say this. I think AJ Brown right now is the most underrated receiver in the whole entire league. He's been hurt. The offense hasn't looked good. They have coaching problems in my opinion, but AJ Brown is still a monster.
Agreed. And I just want to make sure I get him in. I don't think I'm going to have enough of that Philly-Cincy game.
Yep.
And I want to make sure to try to get in some pieces of it.
Okay.
If you tell me Higgins is out, though, that's going to open up another value wide receiver.
It does look like he's out. Now, do your own research, but that's the whole point of doing this show as late as we do on a Saturday, so we can have fun. But we are trying to give you information as well. Just like even your narrative stats have a point. It does look like Higgins is out. It's my pick, though, right?
Oh, he got injured in practice on Friday. Ho, ho, ho. That's why I was like, I didn't remember seeing that happen at the end of the day yesterday when I was doing my NBA stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll put some value back in Higgins. And I go back to week 1, 2 when Yoshi and Gesicki were getting run.
Mm-hmm. It's my pick, right?
Yep. You get 2 in a row. We've taken a lot of your salary.
Yeah, no, I can get
so puke us out some salary.
I can get it. You know me with the stars and scrubs. I can get salary back. I'm just going to go to a guy that I want to cheer for. I'm going to go back to Hopkins.
Okay.
I think he is the best value. And that's my pick again, right?
Yep. Hopkins is going to be a good value. Even if it's like me and I don't think he's jumping right into the Juju Rushy Rice Bowl and getting all those targets, he's still going to be an outside wide receiver in this Mahomes offense. It's probably going to be he'll probably be 6K next week instead of 49. He's 49 because he was priced 49 on Tennessee.
Yeah. I was thinking about Chase Brown because it would work, and I forgot about him as a running back. He's a good price.
Yeah, I don't hit him as a nice little mini with AJ. That wouldn't be bad. But who's your favorite play? I don't even care if it's not value. Who's your favorite play?
I'm going to put in. There's so many good value plays though, but.
Yeah, I think this is a slate. Like I said, outside of every position has some value you can get. Whether it's other than running back. Running back doesn't really have any value, but every other position has some sub 3, sub 4K guys.
I'm going to play Tillman just because I'm going to play Tillman in every one of my personal lineups. So I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't at least plug him in when it's just targets 30. We don't get guys that get this many targets.
Yeah, if you told me at 3K, Tillman's getting another 8-10 target game, I'm locking him in a lot of my lineups too.
Let me throw water on it a bit just because it looks like I'm just cheerleading it. Elijah Moore did sit the whole first quarter. It was I guess he was late to a practice. He pissed off the coach. He pissed in someone's Gatorade bottle. I don't know what happened, but he did sit the whole first quarter for some kind of disciplinary issue. So, but I like Tillman here. Donnie, you got to play? I think
it's mine next. Donnie will be okay.
I'll be after.
That is a good value though. Chase Brown. I didn't think about that when we were doing the value play. That's a sneaky one.
Am I able to do this, or should I let you guys fuck it up? Yeah, I'll let you guys fix this. We're not putting Tyreek Hill in this lineup. we're putting Devon A-Chain in the slot. I prefer A-Chain. Like,
we could play both.
Arizona has, on this slate, is one of the teams giving up some of the most explosive rushes. Like, I think Washington's the only team that gives up more explosive rushes. So, give me A-Chain for his bounce back week with Tua back. Like, everyone's going to want to play Tyreek, and everyone's going to play Tua. But A-Chain also is a guy who would be 500-600 more, 800 more if like Tua had been healthy all season.
You are hoping.
We saw last year he was 7K plus all year.
These first 3 weeks, though, are the weeks that we need. Like, we need the receiving game for him to come back. I think that's how he gets there. Because Raheem Mostert is.
And I think this is the game he could have like a 40-yard rush.
Fair enough.
Just the explode. So on top of the receiving game being better now that Tua's back, this is one of the games I believe he could break off a big one.
Right.
Which he hasn't done. Like this year, he's only had 17, 8. He hasn't had a real long run. This could be the game he breaks off a long.
Yeah.
And so combine that with touchdown upside and the efficiency of the offense, I'll take A-Chain. And I'll get leverage because most people will be playing Tyreek.
Donnie, you don't get stage fright, right? Because we do have 7 live viewers, by the way. If you guys have any questions, comments, would be the time to drop them.
I'm probably gonna screw us up here.
No, I mean, we still have value at tight end and defense, so you can do a lot.
Yeah, but I don't want value at tight end. I want Brock Bowers. Let's put in Brock.
I mean, that's a little mini with him and Hopkins. That can work.
Yeah, I gave you the mini. Like, I thought you might do it. And I didn't think you would go Hopkins, but I thought you might go. I like this pairing, to be fair.
Okay. Well, Donnie, final pick.
Final pick.
I already see a route I would love this lineup to go, but it's
me
not
too.
going to come down to me.
Definitely.
I'm going to do
just
it.
Take our QB.
I'm going to do it if you don't.
Okay. Hold on. Let me think about it now.
You probably won't get the chance, Logan, because I'm going to do it if he doesn't.
Logan, can you throw it, just so I can see it exercise-wise, what's the cheapest defense? What can we afford?
Titans at 2,200, I believe.
Yeah, I just want to know how much that would leave us with.
About $6K a piece for a quarterback and a flex.
You
so
got
like
enough,
you could get an okay quarterback and then one of his cheaper options with him. You could do a split quarterback.
I can't handle the pressure. I can't.
I told you, not 9 viewers.
I can't handle the pressure. I can't pick the quarterback. No,
just let me finish the stack then. Just let me finish this lineup out.
All right.
Well, actually, I don't care about Titans. I wouldn't.
Hold on. Let me find a receiver for you. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this. I thought I was going to be okay with taking the quarterback, and I'm not.
You just got 9 viewers waiting on this pick, Donnie, and then you crumbled.
Oh God!
I didn't know what to do. I don't feel comfortable with what I'm going for. You know what? Have we played it yet?
Seriously though, I don't play season long, but I will answer season long questions in the comments. That's the only time I talk about season long. So if you want to just torture me, you can ask me a season-long question in the comments.
All right. Let's go with...
Oh, we dropped 2 viewers, Donnie.
Kincaid.
Kincaid.
Yeah, I know. That's out of nowhere.
I'm glad you brought him up. If Gov's got just
oh no. Now I can't do anything.
All right, take out the Titans defense as well, just so the viewers know.
There's nothing you can do with that. Like personally,
I
don't like Kincaid at all. You're gonna have to tell me why you like him. Because you're talking about the 4th or 5th option on a team.
To be fair, he doesn't gotta justify for us, but I would like to know, Donnie. Because I do have a point on this that's actually very
a 4th or 5th option on a team in a road game going up against a team that's been solid against tight end all year.
He might
have just added a linebacker to help bolster their defense. Like Shakir, Cooper, Tillman, those are your first 3 options, and then Cook. Why are you taking an expensive tight end who's not getting any work or run?
Listen,
I'm gonna need to know why.
We could change it afterwards. I just needed a player to throw in there, and I didn't have anyone on the top of my head.
See, and I would, you were looking at quarterback, you could have easily just thrown in Tua
I didn't want to be the guy. I didn't want to be that guy.
Like, you could have easily just thrown in Tua. We could have found a way to fit Waddle.
I could have thrown in Jameis Winston.
That would have been fun with me.
I could have at least done something with that. Like, I legit, like right now you left me $7K, which I can't use because we're not playing the Titans defense. So, like, really I have like $6K or lower because we have to get up at defense somewhat. Like, even if we just go up to the Bears, that's 500 I need. Best I can do is 6,500 for a quarterback. At this point, we would be just playing Jameis because I don't like any of these other guys with the lineup we have.
Okay.
Like, we don't have any of the stacking partners with any of these guys.
Listen, we could change it. It's fine.
Okay, Donnie, now the pressure's off you. Do you want to change it?
Let's just go to K. Dotton.
I knew Donnie wanted to put his 2 tight end lineup. At least K. Dotton is at least cheaper. So it gives us
some Tampa value. It gives us a bring back to the
time to get Patrick
Mahomes. Now you could go to a different quarterback, Gov. There you go.
Okay, now we can do the quarterback discussion. Obviously, we'll get off the Titans defense. To me, it's Mahomes. For me,
I wanted to throw Mahomes, and I didn't know how to make it work price-wise. That's what really got me. I mean,
with the money we have here, it's Josh Allen. It's not Mahomes. Mahomes hasn't put up a ceiling game all year.
But when I throw Kincaid in there, it's a problem.
That's the thing. The only way I can
Josh Allen.
Because Josh Allen's 100% of the offense. Kincaid might legitimately give us a 0 at 5K. Like, look, it's not even a good tight end play.
Look on the screen. This guy hit. Look, as soon as Donnie finally made a pick, we lost viewers, and then Donnie got nervous, and nervous laugh, that we saw in the comments, Donnie, a couple weeks ago. That guy left. We went back down to 7, and then Gov started talking, and we got back up to 11. So
I will say I do like the Jordan Love play this week. I just don't know if his price can get me to do it. Personally,
the real problem I have, especially with like this lineup, if we went Jordan Love, the only person we can get off of to get one of his good targets would be Bowers.
Yeah.
Like, there's no one we can really move and get up to any of his weapons. Like, I'm not going to put in Love and then use that little bit of money to turn Hopkins. Like, I don't even think we have enough to turn like Hopkins into Jaden Reed. Like, we'd have to do it off of like a Bowers, the way we built this lineup. That's our real problem. Is like
that's why I like Patrick Mahomes.
Now here's a guy
solves everything.
Like, this is probably the one where I would say get off of Otten, and we do like Bo Nix and one of the cheap Denver guys.
But
you can't please the man.
I know he picked Otten. You have to live with it. I don't know if Donnie was trying to do it on purpose to give you an asset. Like, you mentioned me.
I mean, like, this is back down to me.
Yeah, you
Broncos, get off the Titans, play the Broncos defense, and you pick the quarterback, Logan.
Man, we were playing hacky sack today.
Oh man, we can't do it.
There, you have 6,900. There's not, and you can do Mahomes there.
Yeah, it's the only one that made sense. He's the best quarterback in the league. I could have solved this a half an hour ago.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
That's what I wanted, but I didn't think we could afford it.
Like I said, I told you when we get to the lineup builder, I'll have stuff to talk about Mahomes. It's like, I know we're going to end up building a Mahomes lineup because it's all it's going to fit. You're going to want Bowers. I'm going to love Hunt. You're going to love Hopkins. And we're just going to jam in a Mahomes lineup.
I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable giving Troy my PayPal. And we're not going to make this an official. But if you want to remember this bet, you can come back and roast me in the review show on Tuesday. I think Bowers will outperform Dobbs easily.
I agree. I think Bowers is just such a better play.
He's gotten 33 targets.
Bowers is a really good play for Vegas. Like, if you're playing a Vegas guy, I would play him over like Tucker or Madison or anything else, especially against the KC defense.
If you said Reed, like, I like Reed a lot.
We got to close up shop, though. We were at that hard out time.
That's right, we do.
We're right at that. But
by the way,
that was a pretty solid lineup. Like, I don't hate that. Like, as much as we were arguing about it, I don't hate that. It has a lot of plays I like. I'm okay with the Kansas City stack. Like, the thing I hate the most about it is it's a two tight end. It was a two tight end build. Or wait, no, was it? Yeah. Like, that's the only thing. And I think this week that's horrible. That's completely viable. It's like, as much as I hate it, it's totally possible for Otten Bowers. I also think because of the chalkiness of Otten in the Tampa and everyone loving Bowers, that's going to be a big, like, that's going to be a high-owned stack. Like, I honestly think that Mahomes stack we just made is going to rely on Bijan and the whole Kansas City stack going off.
Okay.
Like, if Mahomes, Hopkins is the guy and Bijan is a top 2 or 3 running back, that lineup's going to win us some money.
Hands up. No more work. Donnie and Gov won't fight. We'll hold that off for another week. We got to get out of here. Good afternoon, guys. I almost
Get into the pussy. Set 3.
Have a great rest of your day. There it is, guys. First Saturday I did it right.
Peace out, everyone. Peace out.
I waited